I like WGP. Oh, they're gone. I like Angels. They're gone too. I like ICD. Oh, they're gone. Or are they? Do I have to wish? Do I have to plead? Do I have to make another song about the guns that I need?
Cause the NXL's all about the ramping, and this gun pump strokes got me cramping.
Do I have to pay? Do I have to splurge? Hoping that my cries of pain will eventually be heard.
ICD PRP shoots outstanding. Now I just hope that the brand keeps on expanding.
I like old school paintball. I think paintball is more interesting with more players on the field. Big field and bigger guns. Oh yeah. But for those of us who prefer the days of yesteryear, it's sometimes a lonely place. I can't tell you how many times I'll be on a rec field and some kid will ask me what I'm shooting, which is fine. I love talking about guns and I like when people ask questions. But I internally scream whenever I tell them what gun it is and stare at their blank expression because I've never heard of that gun. And then I say, oh, it's made by ICD. And then I stare at the same expression because they don't know who they are either. It's to be expected after a certain period of time has passed since a company leaves paintball, but it still stings. This gun, the PRP, was something I thought I'd never see. It's a new paintball gun from ICD, a company that decided to leave in 2006 after nearly 20 years in the sport. Yes, they didn't actually go out of business, so they've always had the ability to come back, but it's something few, me included, ever expected. This is a small sport, and now the market is even smaller than it was when they left in 2006. I could go on about how miraculous it is that ICD decided to come back at all, but let's just get to the product they created. They teased the return to paintball on their Facebook page with changes from what they usually posted, like posting old paintball photos and showing pictures of their desks with their old paintball products lying on them, but I didn't really take it seriously. They showed off a pair of metal grips they made, but I figured those were mostly for actual firearms instead of paintball guns. But then they showed this photo. Oh. Now this is something. I know that feed neck. That's the freestyle feed neck. But this is new. This is actually happening. But what kind of gun is it? Then they hit me with this photo. Oh. Now I could see that it also used the freestyle barrel. Well, what's going on here? Now, I'm biased, of course, everyone is, but I felt that with the recent expiration of the electronic gun patent, ICD's comeback was timed to coincide with this event. It just made sense. And if I were to make a list of what kind of product I thought they'd make and what I really wanted them to make, it would go in this order. Number 1, new 2016 Freestyle Spool, high-end gun with a high-end price. The FS8 was pretty much solid internally, so just update the ergos a bit and maybe go hoseless because that's what the kids like. Number 2, new 2016 Bushmaster / ProMaster. Mid-end Electro Poppet to battle the E-Tech Infusion FX for mid-end Poppet supremacy. No need to go hoseless to keep the cost down. New 2016 BKO. The world's best faster could still be a contender in the $250 to $350 price range. Currently occupied by the Proto Spools and Azoden blowbacks. Make it trailless and lightweight and you could have a solid shooter. New 2016 Desert Fox. Why not bring back this automatic clone since it looks like AGD is finally done for good. New 2016 Alley Cat / Puma / whatever cat name they used on all their old blowbacks. No real reason to bring this one back, but the world could use a quality blowback again in a world of Walmart spiders and Titmans. 6, Sheridan-based pump. CCM could always use more competition in this category and maybe price it a little lower and compete with the Empire Sniper, I guess. 7, Nelson-based pump. I can't think of any reason to make one of these now. Guess what one we got? The PRP is a Nelson-based pump, features a hoseless design, and it costs $500. I feel like that kid who got an Atari Jaguar for Christmas instead of a Sega Genesis. It's not the one I wanted, Dad. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad ICD is back. I want this gun to sell and be a success because I don't want to lose ICD again, and maybe for good this time. But the Line SI era and the pumps they made aren't the guns I feel nostalgia for. They were before my time. And Nelson valve pumps are just not my thing. But I want to give this gun a fair shake, so let's dive in. The first thing you'll notice if you hold one is it's pretty darn small. The only Nelson valve pump I can think of that is smaller is the Zap ZXS 200, and that gun didn't have a hinged frame to access the internals. In fact, it's a pretty crappy gun. The PRP looks nice. This one was kindly on loan to me from a good friend of mine, and it was an early run model. The lines are pretty rough, and this one was shipped without a ball detent so you can experience the true style of old school play. Gotta pump fast or else you'll double feed. The gun was powder coated in a radical pink with tubular turquoise accents. The accents look cool, but the finish does happen to chip, unfortunately. I'm not actually sure what it's made of. Inside the gun, you'll find pretty standard Nelson valve internals, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Velocity adjustments are done with this tool that you stick down into the hex slot on the bolt for adjustment. The trigger on this thing is actually pretty large, but it's quite comfortable, and the on-off ASA is really nice and simple to operate. No complaints. Kinda not sure how I feel about the obvious use of leftover parts to build these guns, though. Hello, Freestyle Barrel. Hello, Freestyle Feedneck. Hello, Bushmaster Grips. Nice to see you all again. I feel half the reason ICD made this gun was to clear off some shelf space at the warehouse. Though here's where the gun wins back some points for me. The shot quality. Holy crap. Typically, Nelson valves are known for that trademark valve sputter or farting, but listen to the PRP. Just listen. It doesn't bounce off the valve at all. It just pops. I've never heard another Nelson sound so crisp. It's just beautiful. The shot quality is second to none for this class of pump. The pump stroke is a bit harsh though. Not the smoothest or the quickest, but man, that shot. Oh, it's good. You can even auto trigger it if you want. So how will this gun do? Well, hopefully it finds a market with the old school and recreational crowd. Hardcore pump tournament players probably will stick to their CCMs, but I'm sure many people will be happy with it if they decide to go with this. Like I said, it's just not the gun I personally wanted. I hope this was a passion project for ICD, and now that they've gotten it out of their system, they can go back to making real guns. Modern guns. Because they were actually really good at doing that. The FS8 could still compete today if it had a board capable at the right firing rate, as could the ProMaster. ICD's charm is still within this gun, and the passion is there. In the meantime, I'll continue to condense history lessons to the youths that ask me what brick-shaped gun I'm currently sporting any given Sunday. Well, you see, Billy, this is a BKO. Some say it stands for Bushmaster Knockoff, but that's really just a rumor, as ICD never actually said what it stood for. Me personally, I think it could have stood for a number of things.